Hello, my name is Ugochukwu Ukwebu. I am a cloud engineer. In this video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install and secure phpMyAdmin on Ubuntu 22.04. While many users need the functionality of a database management system like MySQL, they may not feel comfortable interacting with the system solely from the MySQL prompt. phpMyAdmin was created so that users can interact with MySQL through a web interface. In this guide, I will show you how to install and secure phpMyAdmin so that you can safely use it to manage your databases on an Ubuntu 22.04 system. The prerequisite to this tutorial is a previous tutorial which I did on how to set up a compute engine VM on GCP and install LAMP server on the stack. You can find a link to that tutorial below in the notes section or in the accompanying blog. So let me begin with my presentation of our video tutorial. All right, so we start from I've logged into my Google Cloud Platform console. From here, I'm in the VM instances page. You can see here is the LAMP server we set up in the previous tutorial, right? So if you've been following along, just follow along. If you've not followed those tutorials, that tutorial is like a prerequisite to this. So in this server, right, we've installed LAMP stack, and we've even installed a WordPress application, which you can see here, right? Which we access from the external IP of this server. So before now, we've been interacting with MySQL from the command prompt. But now, that will be sufficient if all you want to just do is maybe set up an application once, and afterwards just be interacting with your application from a web interface like this WordPress application. But if you're a user that will be interacting with the database all the time, you might want a client like phpMyAdmin that is a web interface with which you can interact with your database. So right now, the task for this lab is to install phpMyAdmin on our LAMP server. So as always, we begin with SSHing into the machine. So I copy. I've copied this SSH command. As always, you can SSH from Cloud Console using the Google Cloud Shell, but I'm comfortable using my Google Cloud Shell from my local terminal. So I've dropped in the command to SSH into that machine. Okay, accept. So I'm in my remote virtual machine. As always, all the commands that I'm going to use in this tutorial are available in the accompanying blog. So if it's not convenient for you to follow what I have on screen, just know that the commands are in the blog. You can go there, copy, paste, and follow along. All right. So with a virtual machine running a Linux operating system, the first thing we want to do before installing further packages is do a sudo apt get update to update packages. And then because we'll be installing phpMyAdmin, there are accompanying libraries that it needs to function properly. So for this, because there are many commands, I'm going to be doing some copy and paste here. But just like I said, you can find these commands in the accompanying blog. So I come here, dump that. It's a right click to paste on the terminal. So after its operation, 8 megabytes of additional disk space will be used. Do you want to continue? Yes. So I've installed, if in the blog, I've installed some packages, php-bz, and a number of other ones. you can in the blog you find what those packages do for our phpMyAdmin. Okay, so now I'm going to run command to install phpMyAdmin. To use 81 megabytes of additional disk space. Do I want to continue? Yes. Okay, so we have this prompt. Of course, we're using Apache 2 server, so you can see it's already highlighted. So I'm going to press enter. All right. This asks configure database for phpMyAdmin with dbconfig.common dash common. Yes, that's what I want to use. Provide a password for phpMyAdmin to register with database server. Okay, so I provide a password here. Re-enter password. Feel free to use whatever password you want. Just make sure that you note it down, right? Okay, so I've done my installation. There are some configuration changes I need to make. The first one is going to be in my php.ini file. And where do we get a php.ini file? We're going to cd into etc php, cd into 8.1. That's a directory. Cd into Apache 2. Okay, and that's a php.ini file. So I want to edit that using Nano text editor. All right, so I want to find, there's a line I want to uncomment. So I want to find that. I'm going to use Control plus W to find. Okay, so what I just need to do is uncomment that line. Uh, do a control, and that's it. I do a Control X, press Y, and then press enter, right? So the next thing I want to do is I want to include, there's a line I need to include in my apache2.conf file. So I for that, okay. All right. So this is not the directory I need to work with. Okay, so control, let me get out of this. Let's see. Okay, that's the script I'm looking for. All right. So what we just need to do is add the following line to the script. Include etc phpMyAdmin apache.conf. It's very careful that there's no typo. All right, now I do a Control X, Y, enter, right? So I'm going to, there's one more command to run. One more command to, I need to enable the MB string extension with PHP, sudo PHP and mode MB string. All right, so at this point, I restart Apache. All right, so that done, let's go test our phpMyAdmin installation. So we pretty much copy the external IP to that machine, drop that, and phpMyAdmin. All right, so let's enter our login credentials. Let's use roots. I used expect while you're doing this, you probably enter your own password of choice and then use it to enter. All right, so voila, our phpMyAdmin installation was successful. And if you look at this, you see all the databases we've been working with on this server prior to now. So just like I said, there has been previous tutorials that led up to this, right? In the first tutorial, we set up the LAMP server from scratch and we set up that virtual machine instance from scratch. And then we installed the LAMP stack on it, Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. In the MySQL there, we created some databases with which we've worked with. And then there was a tutorial on WordPress where we installed WordPress on that machine. And this is the WordPress installation, right? And then this is the WordPress database from which this WordPress installation is saving its data. So if you just want to, maybe if it's just a one-time thing that you want to set up your database, you might not need a phpMyAdmin, right? You might just be comfortable using the MySQL prompt to interact with your database, set things up, and then, just let it go. But if you're a regular user, if you're going to be heavy working on database, you might be more comfortable working, working through a web interface like phpMyAdmin, which we have just done now. So one thing about phpMyAdmin, you can see because it's very common, just like this, it's an open vector for attack. It's easy to, I mean, people know that this is how phpMyAdmin is set up, and it's easy to kind of attack it. So because of that, it's recommended that you secure your phpMyAdmin so that you're not open to unexpected attack, right? So the next steps now, we're going to go ahead to secure phpMyAdmin. So first is first, we get back to our terminal, right? So one way of securing our terminal is to place a gateway in front of our entire application by using Apache's built-in .htaccess authentication and authorization functionalities. To do this, we must first enable the use of .htaccess file overrides by editing our phpMyAdmin installation's Apache configuration file, right? So I'm going to do that now using Nano text editor. So I go to okay, that's not correct. phpMyAdmin ls. So I have my apache.conf file, and that's what I want to edit now. Sudo nano, right? That's the text editor I want to use. Sudo nano apache.conf. All right, so with that open, I just want to add allow override all just below this line. So after that, I save my changes. I first do Control X, I press Y, and I press Enter to save that, right? And then to implement the changes, we restart our Apache 2. All right. So now that I've enabled the use of .htaccess files for our application, I'll need to create one to actually implement some security. In order for this to be successful, the file must be created within the application directory. I can create the necessary file and open it in my text editor now. So what do I need to do? Yeah, I need to do it. Okay. CD to user. Sure. Okay. Let's go back to my I typed in a very wrong command. So cd php my admin. So all right. So from here, I'm going to create my .htaccess file. All right. So I'm going to add a couple of lines here. I think I already have that here. So let me just copy and paste to save some time, to save ourselves some typing time. So this is what I want to add. Copy that. I come here, I dump it with the right click. That's from this command prompt. I do a Control X and Y and enter to save those changes. So if you want to know the meaning of those things I added. I provided them in the accompanying blog, right? All right, so we can see that the location I selected to save my password file was in that .ht password. So now I'm just going to create that user. So let me go back to from here. I do a sudo ht. I want us to use username lamp guide user, right? Yeah, lamp guide user. So it's going to prompt me for a new password. So I'm going to just type lamp guide password. Going to ask for again. Lamp guide password. Okay, so that password has been added. For it to take effect, I'm going to add. I'm going to restart my Apache server. So I use sudo system ctl restart Apache 2. All right, so that's done. So let's head on to our browser to see if we've set things up correctly, right? So let me try to get into this again. Oh, all right. You see, it added an extra authentication interface. So the credentials we use to set this up is lamp guide user and then lamp guide password. So I click sign in, don't save, and I'm in, right? So it added that extra layer of authentication. If I want to double check it, let me go to a different browser, right? And I pretty much get the same experience there, right? So let's do this from here. Get in, lamp guide user, lamp guide password. No need to save that. So here I put in my phpMyAdmin credentials. Enter, right? And so I'm in, right? So that's pretty much this desirable since phpMyAdmin has been vulnerable to security threats in the past to add this extra security layer, right? So we now have phpMyAdmin configured and ready to use on our Ubuntu 0.04 server, right? So using this database, we can create database, we can create users, we can create tables, as well as performing the optional operations like deleting the entire database for and modifying structures for data, right? So that's that for this tutorial series, right? This builds on previous tutorials. In the first tutorial, we set up a virtual machine and installed LAMP stack on it. In another tutorial, we deployed a pre-built website from a code source into a server, into this LAMP stack server, and served it just to mimic a full stack website application. In another tutorial, we installed and configured a WordPress application to this server. As this is the WordPress application here. And then in this final tutorial in the series, we installed and secured phpMyAdmin on this server, right? So this tutorial series is for those who want to get into cloud development or who want to have an understanding of the architecture of cloud, right? So the approach is hands-on, and it gives you the basics you need to build dynamic websites. That's what we've done in this tutorial. Build dynamic websites, backends for web and mobile applications, and pretty much anything you can build using a LAMP stack, right? So if you find this video useful, do like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have questions, drop them in the comment section below and I will respond to them, right? So thank you very much. Once again, my name is Ugochukwu Ukwebu. I'm a cloud engineer, right? And I hope you find my tutorial series enjoyable. If you have comments, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you very much.